Alright, for example, first one says find the length of each arc. So if you're dealing with the arc, that's going to be the angle over 360 degrees times 2 pi r, or the angle divided by 2 pi, if it's in terms of pi, times 2 pi r. So I'm just going to set up the equations really quickly. Now, the arc is how much? Or the angle is how much here? How much is that angle? Because it's the bold arc that we're looking for. In this case, it's 315. So for the arc length, I would take 315 divided by 360 times 2 times pi times 11. And then if you put it in the calculator, it'll actually come up with a reduced fraction for you. So you can go ahead and do that. Or if it says rounded to the nearest tenth, what you'd end up doing is all you'd have to do is take one fraction, 315 divided by 360 times 2 times. Now pi on your calculators is down here. There's a button down here. If you hit that button, it's right near the H button. It brings up a bunch of different symbols, and you want pi, so you just hit enter, and then times 11. Now, this is, if you just hit enter, it's going to give you the exact value, which in this case would be 77 pi over 4. But it says we want it to the nearest tenth. So this would be approximately, we'd hit control enter, and this would be 60 point, now we have 47, that 7's going to tell us to round the 4 to what? We're going to round that to 5, and that's in feet. So you got to make sure that you don't have just a number. We need a unit. We need to actually put the units with that. Now, with this guy right here, the nice thing about this calculator is you don't have to worry too much about the whole pi's and 2 pi's and all that stuff. When I see that my angle is 3 pi over 2, I'm going to take the fraction, it's going to be 3 pi over 2 divided by 2 pi. So that's going to be what my arc length is, because we're in pi territory now. Times 2 pi times the radius, which is 16. The nice thing is you could just set up a fraction, and in the top part is another fraction. So it's 3 pi over 2, and in the bottom it's 2 pi. So you can set up a fraction by hitting control divide, and that'll give you a fraction, and then you can just set up the fraction exactly as you see it, and then just get out of the fraction, and then times 2 times pi times 16, and you get an answer of 24 pi. And then all you have to do is hit control enter, or you could have done that to begin with. I like to get the exact answer and then say what it is approximately. 75.4. So the nice thing is, all you have to really do is remember what the formula is and just write the formulas at the top of the worksheet. If you want arc length, you know the arc length formula. If you want area of a sector, use the area of the sector formula. They're just two formulas that you need. Put them into the calculator, you'll be able to not have to worry about any type of conversion or anything like that, because we can just set it up just like this. If you wanted to convert in a calculator too, you could do this. 3 pi over 2 times the conversion factor is 180 over pi, and that's 270. So that would convert it to degrees. So if you wanted to do that. So it's just like you would set it up before. And let me check something really quick here. 3 pi divided by 2. And there's one other thing that you can do. If you hit control here, you go and you get this black triangle, and you go DD. I wonder if you can take 3 pi over 2, then the black triangle, which is control book. If you hit control book, there's the black triangle. It's all the way over to the right. And then you type in DD, it converts anything to degrees. So if you have this triangle, which is colored in, and then you just type in DD, that converts anything to degrees. So it'll convert your radians to degrees with little or no issue whatsoever. And that if you like to use the degrees before. The nice thing is the calculator, you don't really need to, because all you have to do is something like that, and it'll do the whole thing for you. Do you guys know the difference between getting the exact answer and getting an approximation in the calculator? Like if you do 2 divided by pi, if you hit enter, you get 2 divided by pi. Enter is always an exact answer. Enter is exact. Control enter is approximate. And approximates look like degrees. And you can tell because there's this squiggly equal sign there, and that always means approximate answer. And enter, that just means that's your equal sign. So enter is your equal sign, basically, or your squiggly equal sign is an approximation. So either way, you can get what the answer that they want right off the bat. I just like to get both answers, because a lot of times it's better to get the exact answer than it is to get the approximation. But if you're doing something like this and you're going to Home Depot, you're not going to say, I need 24 pi lengths. I need a length of 24 pi chicken wire because I'm making a circular garden. You're not going to do that. You're going to say, I want about 76 feet, because you always want a little bit extra when you're dealing with stuff. So if this is something you're building, you're not going to want to use 24 pi, because then nobody knows that. Nobody knows what 24 pi is off the top of their head. So you want to go there and you want to have the exact amount that you have. Or not the exact amount, but you want that approximation. And then you're going to always kind of fudge it a little bit, especially if you're going to do things with cutting. If you're going to cut things, like a rule of thumb is get 10% more than you need, because when you cut, sometimes you make mistakes and you don't measure right. So it's always good, like if this is actually like a home improvement project, 24 pi is a great number. However, it doesn't help you when you go to the hardware store. 75.4 feet helps you at the hardware store because then everybody knows what you're dealing with. But in a math class, 24 pi is the better answer because it's 100% exact. So go ahead and work on these. It's just applications of the formulas. It's pretty much all it is in using your calculator. Yes?